Good morning, everybody in Courier-Record land. This is Billy Coleburn. I'm on the Courier-Record newspaper page. First of all, I want to thank everybody yesterday that gave me information about apparently there were 2 shooting incidents in downtown Blackstone yesterday. I've talked to a number of people at Nelson's Mexican restaurant who heard the gunfire, the first round of gunfire, and they ran from the patio and took cover inside the restaurant. Those shots apparently were fired from a vehicle. The big shootout that many of you saw last night was at the slip-in in that parking lot where I've heard as many as 24 rounds were fired. I spoke with someone this morning, and good morning, Barbara. Basically, what I've been told, I've not spoken to police. I've let the police do their diligence, try to stay out of their way. But a man was fired on at the slip-in parking lot, and apparently that shooter missed. I was told the target, the guy that was shot at, returned fire multiple times, shooting back toward the road, shooting back really toward the intersection of Dinwiddie Avenue and North Main Street, and struck the individual. I don't know if the individual who fired the first shot was in a vehicle or not, but I was told late last night that individual who allegedly opened fire first was wounded wounded pretty bad, I was told, chest or stomach, unconfirmed, and was driven to an area hospital. I don't know if he drove himself or he had someone else with him. I'm also told that this shooting or shootout that occurred last night does deal with, if you recall, if you've read the paper, we had a home on Man Street that was struck by gunshots about 3 weeks ago, and that this is connected to that. And apparently there is some sort of ongoing dispute, or has been an ongoing dispute, between two males and a female. Now, at the scene last night, I was told something I did not know. I was at the scene and was informed that the night before last, a Town of Blackstone vehicle, very familiar Town of Blackstone vehicle, that is parked after hours beside the town hall, sometimes beside the town hall, sometimes behind the town hall, was shot up. All the windows, or most of the windows, were shot up in the truck. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what that, if anything, I don't believe that's connected to what happened last night. But for me personally, I was jogging last night at 5:30 or 6, went out in my backyard by my fire pit, was having a conversation with somebody, and my phone started blowing up. There was also some sort of episode or some sort of police activity at the Dollar General and Crew while this was going on. I don't know if that was medical related. I was told there was some police presence there. I think someone fell and was out of breath. I'm not sure. Again, we got a lot of things we're tracking down right now. We had also yesterday, before the slip-in situation happened, a person who lives just on the edge of town, their dog was shot. We had a well-known local man who's contacted me. I'll be interviewing him today. Thank you for that, Holly. I thought it was medical, but there were so many things going on at one time. But someone's 15-year-old dog was shot and survived at the end of 10th Street, down on Lakeside Drive. So I'll be talking to that individual today. That dog is okay. Apparently was shot with a .22 rifle or pistol, not sure. We also had our first snake bite of the year this week. Luckily not poisonous, but snakes are definitely out. And this was, I believe, I've got to go through my notes, either Monday or Tuesday. It was not yesterday. It was before the 83-degree day. But a local woman on Brunswick Avenue was doing work behind her house and saw a snake, what she believed to be a snake, slither away, went inside, noticed blood on her hand, and then decided to go to patient first later, and they confirmed she was bitten by a snake. Obviously, it was not poisonous, or the poison didn't get into her bloodstream. So a lot going on, too much going on. But as I said last night going live, I have covered a lot of stuff in Blackstone in the last 33 years. I have not covered a shooting on Main Street. I've certainly not covered a shootout on Main Street. The closest thing I can remember was April 2011. There was a gunfight at the VFW park, and some people were wounded there. No one killed. And again, I don't know. People have asked me, Billy, has anybody been arrested? I do not know that, but I think what I was told, the slip-in surveillance cameras are going to back up the self-defense that was cited last night. There was a male subject that was at the scene. I won't say he was detained by police, but he wasn't going anywhere. And I believe he may have been the person that returned fire. And of course, if you're shot at, you're going to return fire. I don't know if people had concealed carry, or you don't, or you can open carry if you want in Virginia. You don't need a permit for that. Don't know all those details. I try to let the police get all their evidence together, but someone was wounded, I was told, late last night. So again, very unfortunate chain of events here in Blackstone. The time this happened was around 6 p.m., between 6 and 7, a time when people are getting gas. Getting gas. Right across the street, you've got, good morning, Mayor Welch. You've got Brothers Pizza across the street. You've got racing across Dinwiddie Avenue. You've got, now McDonald's is undergoing renovation, so, had it been a typical day with McDonald's that time of night, those bullets were flying everywhere. A bullet that says "to whom it may concern" is just as deadly as a bullet that's aimed directly at you. It's the same consequence. So, again, now whether any of I don't know this. Someone asked me, are any of the people involved people who have had run-ins with the law before? Would that affect their right to carry a firearm? I don't know the answer to that question either. I've heard a few names. Again, the main thing, apparently no one innocent was shot last night. No one innocent was shot last night, and apparently no one innocent was killed last night. The person that opened fire, I've been told by people that would be in positions to know, they opened fire and the person returned fire. And I, not to criticize anyone that's shot at. If you're shot at, you're shooting. But I was told that by a witness that the shots were fired. We're shooting back at the road, and it was boom. It was just boom. It wasn't like that boom, 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 boom like police do. It was boom, 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 boom. But again, I haven't been in that situation. If I'm shot at, I'm not a marksman. Again. But that, from what I understand, it was self-defense, but a very dangerous situation at a very busy intersection at a fairly busy time of night. You've also got across the street, if you're shooting and your hand's moving, you got Mitchell's Restaurant across the street. You've got Green Automotive right down, right beside the slip-in. But what I don't know, folks, is this. Episode number 1 apparently involved a white Tahoe and shots coming out of that Tahoe. One person even told me high-powered rifle, and that was in the vicinity of Race-In. But I did not see any police at the Race-In last night looking for bullets or anything like that. All the police activity was at the slip-in. So I don't know, and people at Nelson's heard the gunfire at 5:30. Now, I was told by one person 5:37 p.m. And that people outside at Nelson's on the patio, they heard the gunfire and immediately knew it was gunfire, and they rushed into the restaurant and took cover down below the wall. So I don't know if that was the first round of gunfire, or maybe this was all one episode. And maybe it was just one episode that happened at 5:37 p.m. But someone I know said there was 2 different shootings, and I don't know if they involved the same people or not. Lots to sort out. Way too much going on for any time of year. It was a beautiful day yesterday, and I just cringe at what could have happened. Anybody there pumping gas, just trying to fill up before they go home from work, could have been shot yesterday in Blackstone. So that's the latest that I've got. I know a lot of y'all want updates, but if I spend my time doing updates all the time, I can't get the actual on-the-record information that I'm going to present to the public next week in a responsible manner. I do have some pretty compelling photos of police at the scene last night. We will certainly publish those. I have a photo of one subject that may very well be the person who was shot at first, and we will certainly, there's certainly a person that was involved. But again, we want to make sure that there's one advantage of being a weekly paper, except on deadline days. A lot of times, we'll hold off on something because we want to get it right. But we've got time. Police have time to put together a scenario. I've already talked to the sheriff's office. I sent an email about getting the chronology. What time did you get the first 911 calls? What did they say? And then we'll match that with what the police reports say, what the witnesses say. I had one really good witness, U.S. military person that I trust, who told me that the shooting was wild. It was just amazing, the traffic, no other cars were hit. Like I said, I saw, if you recall last night when I went live, I saw they were putting the little numbered pieces of plastic out there where the shell casings were, and I saw 15. Someone later said there were 19, but I got a phone call last night. Again, someone not with law enforcement, but someone that would be getting information from higher ups in law enforcement, said there were 24 total shots fired. 24 shots fired. And this was broad daylight, or well, not broad daylight, but I think it was still light outside. 5:37 p.m., the first call, it's light outside. Again, I don't know what time that second round of shooting happened. You know how, again, piecing everything together, witnesses, but I had a very good witness that I trusted, Nelson's restaurant. They're not from Virginia. They're from a more urban area than Virginia. And they said it was the most scared they've been in their life. And they've lived in some places where stuff like this happens. But apparently not 24 shots fired. So hopefully everybody will take some time and I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer, but we're going to simply report. But folks, this county, going to go a little editorial comment right here. We really are at someone yesterday said, Billy, we're at a crossroads in Nottoway County. I'm like, no. We are at an absolute precipice breaking point, in my opinion. The meth and the crime has been getting out of hand. Police are doing everything they can do. I'm not going to criticize the police. Listen, right now, police and teachers, there's a reason they're dropping out, because they're underpaid and they're overworked, and it's I'm an optimist by nature, but I'm getting overwhelmed when I think about the task ahead. We've got high absentee rates in the school system. We have a shortage of teachers. We have shrinking enrollment. Our population in Nottoway County is not growing. We have millions upon millions of needs for emergency services, for law enforcement, for education, for capital improvement projects. There's a need for $1 million roof at the high school. That doesn't help any teacher, doesn't help any administrator, doesn't help anybody with health insurance. I don't know what this next budget is going to be for the county. It's going to have to address a lot of things, and I don't know whether there's enough tax base here to afford it. So we've got to improve the tax base. Solar could be one way to do that if it can be done safely. But the current trend here is not good. So anyone who wants to say, hey man, we're at a crossroads. No. I will tell you, in my opinion, not trying to be alarmist, we are way beyond a crossroads. We are at a precipice, and this community is going to have to step up and get off. Can't just be on Facebook and observe stuff. We're going to have to say no to people. Or if we know of something going down, going to have to call police. People who know stuff have got to say stuff, or it's only going to get worse, and it may be you next time. So I think this case last night, due to cooperation of witnesses and surveillance, I understand the surveillance, what I understand, has verified that this was a self-defense. But this cannot continue. And this is not about the shooting last night. I'd be telling you this without the shooting last night, about the law enforcement, education, and needs of our community, and the fact that our population is declining. People who are coming here are older, and they like it. They like the peace and quiet. But last night was not peace and quiet. Last night was not we're a great safe place to live. That last night could have been multiple casualties, innocent men, women, children pumping gas, coming out of the store, someone inside the store. Store personnel luckily weren't shot. They easily could have been shot. So, like I said earlier, the bullet that says "to whom it may concern" or the bullet that's got your name on it is still the same bullet. It still do the same harm. So, we've got animal control issues that are big. Like I said, we had a dog shot last night, or shot earlier this week. I'll be doing a story on that this week. It's just, it's a little bit overwhelming what lies ahead of us. I do know this: Nottoway County has got a lot of good people, and we've got a lot of good law enforcement officers, and we've got a lot of good teachers. We just got to get more of them and give them more support and keep them, and then add to them. It's the new reality. It's just a new reality. But again, we will have a full account in next week's Courier. I can't go live all the time because if I go live all the time, I don't get a paper out. And we've got a crazy amount of stories we're working on, including some in adjoining counties that are absolutely just mind-boggling. I think that's all I had. I hope all of y'all have a good weekend. It's going to be a lot colder, apparently. I think the high tomorrow is 42. So like I said, February is still February and March is still March. But it's been nice while it lasted. This is Billy Coleburn on the Courier-Record Facebook page. I wish you all well. I want to thank you viewers. You were not bothering me last night. A lot of y'all gave me good information. And usually I'm by my scanner, except when I go running. And I went running, and I went outside. It was a beautiful night, and I was like, I made a call to somebody out of state I hadn't talked to in a while. And then all of a sudden I had to say, hey, I got to go, man. My phone's blowing up. Apparently there's been a drive-by shooting in Blackstone. And again, last night we did say drive-by early on. That was the initial reports. Now, the first shooting that I've heard about, if there were two, the first one apparently involved shots fired from a white Tahoe. The second shooting, if there were two, the one at the slip-in, I'm not sure that was a drive-by. I think that may have been a good old-fashioned shootout. I don't know if one person was shooting from a vehicle inside the parking lot. I don't know. But I will tell you, I saw with my own eyes the shell casings on the cement parking lot at the slip-in last night. And when they put those yellow plastic devices that had the numbers on them, that struck a nerve with me. That really hit home. Luckily, there wasn't a dead body there also to see. Thank God for that. But and there was concern last night, a lot of anxiety. I talked to a lot of people in Taylor Bottom, and they were concerned about events escalating overnight. But I think the fact that the person was wounded, I think, at least I hope for now, that everything is subsided. But again, if anything significant happens, we will go live. I'm not going to pepper you and go live when it's not anything. I'm not going to be like, Fox News alert, and it's just the same thing they did an hour ago. So anyway, thank you all for listening. Thank you for the information. I appreciate the information. And you folks at Nelson's restaurant, the reports I got were horrifying. To be out to eat to hear the gunshots. It's interesting because I'm not sure whether the gunshots began while maybe the vehicle was driving by Nelson's. If you're going 25 miles an hour and start shooting at the race end, you can be firing those shots in front of Nelson's. But what I heard from good sources at Nelson's restaurant was, people on the patio instantly recognized the gunshots and instantly ran in that restaurant and took cover behind the wall. So that tells me all I need to know right there. I had heard high-powered rifle. One report was high-powered rifle at first. The shell casings I saw were not high-powered rifle at the slip-in. Again, lots to piece together. Lots to piece together. We hope everybody involved, all families involved, wish everybody peace, healing, and mutual understanding. That's all I've got, folks. Good morning from the Courier-Record newsroom. Have a good day.